Hello, I am Dr. Balasubramaniam Tyagarajan. Now, today, in our continuing session on the use of Google Classroom and its associated applications, we'll be seeing how to use the Google Drive, which is tightly aligned with that of Google Classroom, how to organize the files within the Google Drive, and how to make the entire contents of the drive more friendly. And let us also briefly see what the features within the Google Drive that are available to the teacher to make their life really easy. Trust me that there are a lot of features and applications integrated to the Google Drive which can be used as an excellent teaching tool. So right now I have logged into my Google Drive of my classroom. This is actually the Google Drive of my classroom. This will be the interface. This is actually a Google Drive which comes as a part of G Suite. If you are planning to have a classroom set up with your personal ID, the interface will be more or less the same, but here the storage will be limited to 15 GB. The storage will be limited to 15 GB. Supposing you want to increase the storage, you may have to pay around 140 to 150 rupees per month as subscription for the storage. So initially, I will advise every teacher, if you are going to use your personal email ID to create classrooms, their Google space, their Google Drive space, which is going to be just 15 GB, try using that 15 GB. As soon as you find that you have exhausted nearly 80% of the space, free space which has been allotted to you, you can go ahead and subscribe for additional space, and you pay around 140 to 150 rupees per month for 100 GB space. So that is roughly the cost involved. So this is the interface. This says that this is a G Suite account, and the Google Drive is linked to my G Suite account. So what I'm going to see right now, you will be seeing a lot of files. This is actually a chaotic and disorganized way to organize files within the G Drive associated with the Google Classroom. Ideally speaking, you should have one folder for each class within the classroom. I have already shown in my previous videos how to create multiple classes within the same classroom. So each of these classes should have a different folder. Then only it is easy to retrieve the files, organize the files, save the files, because multiple teachers will be involved in the teaching program using the same Google Classroom. So if the organization of files and folders in a systematic way will help to avoid confusions when multiple users are involved in the teaching program. Now there is a prominent button called New. Before we see all these things, I would like to take you over a small overview. You can use the search box to search for files within the drive. Here there is a gear wheel which says settings. Let us see what settings we can adjust for the G Drive. Let's go to the settings. Here it says that my space is 30 GB. I have used 1.7 GB. If I am keen to buy the storage, increase the storage, I can click on this button, and then I can have this option of knowing which items are consuming more space. Say here, a few of my videos which I have recorded from my Google Meet seems to be occupying the most space. So I can download these videos to my desktop, upload it to YouTube, and delete the same from this Google Drive, so that space will be freed. So that is see, this settings give me an excellent way of knowing what files consume more space. And then here the next thing is convert uploaded files to Google Docs editor format. Supposing you are uploading a Word document to the Google Drive. So what happens is, if you attempt to edit the same document using the Google Doc, which is actually the document editor integrated with the G Drive, it needs to be converted to the Google Docs. So ideally, it is always better to convert all the files you are going to upload into a editable format, which your software within the Google Drive can edit. So this should be checked. And the language setting, you can always make it default. It usually takes your predominant language setting. Again, it says who are all are enabled for offline access. What exactly you mean by offline access? So what happens is you will be prompted to download a software, G Drive software within your computer. What happens is whenever you are online, the files will be downloaded and uploaded into the system. Supposing you are working on a file online, it will be uploaded, and then the current version of the file which is available within the G Drive can also be downloaded. So it will be constantly syncing the files. Here it says there is another user, that is me, who is already enabled offline access, who has access to this drive, and I can use it offline because I'll be doing all the work offline, and the files will be in my desktop computer. The moment I go online, these files will be uploaded or synced with all the other files within the Google Drive. And then density of the files, again, I should make it comfortable. If you make it compact, what happens is it will be, your entire interface will look pretty cluttered. So you choose comfortable, or if you make it cozy, let us see what happens. So right now there are not much number of files. So if you make it cozy, it will give a proper distance between the files. And then suggestions, make relevant files handy when you need them in quick access, that you choose. And then important people who have their file shared with the Google Drive, again it will be notified. And then make priority my default homepage. So what happens is my default homepage will be prioritized. So I will click done. As soon as I click done, the settings take over. And next is, we have seen almost, notification. General we have seen, notification. Actually what happens is, you get all updates about G Drive items via email. Supposing new files have been uploaded, any files have been changed, the administrator or the owner of the classroom will get all the updates about the G Drive items via email. And then if you choose this browser, what happens when you're using a computer to browse, it will send out a notification on your browser. So supposing if you check this, get updates about Google Drive items on your browser, so what happens is it will ask you to enable notifications on your browser. If you allow that, the notification will start to reach your browser. So you can enable this if you feel that you are constantly working on your desktop or laptop, you can enable this notification to be shown from within the browser. And then there are many applications available within the Google Classroom, and each of these applications have various settings. Say for example, diagram. So you can use it as a diagram. So it gives you all the default options. Supposing you don't want these options to be linked to your G Drive, you can go and disconnect from the drive. So just by disconnecting this application from the drive, it won't be shown in the menu. It will stop showing the item in the menu. Supposing you want to know more details about the apps which are being integrated into your Google Drive, you can just click the view product page and it will take you to the product page, and then it will help you to understand more about the application. So these are all the applications which are available by default, and the options are going to be here. These are all tightly integrated Google version, so there nothing will be shown. For example, no options will be seen. These are all components, tight components of the Google Drive. So this is all part of Google Suite, so no options will be given. Whereas third-party applications, for example, this wireframe is actually a third-party application. Certify EM is a third-party application, which means somebody else has developed application and pass it on to the user to get integrated into the Google Drive. So for all the third-party applications, the product page can be viewed and the application can be connected or disconnected from the drive. So for example, Document Studio is actually a third-party application. You can disconnect from the drive, whereas Google Docs is a tight integral part of the Google Drive. So it cannot be disabled. It can be only used by default. Again, Google Jamboard is a tight component within the Google Drive. So this all the Google products are tightly integrated. For example, Google Slide is a Google product, so you cannot remove it, you cannot mess up with it. But what you can do is you can just uncheck use by default. So if you uncheck use by default, the application, you need to call the application manually. So if you check use by default, all the slides within the Google Drive will open with Google Slides. So that is it. So that is as far as the settings are concerned. We'll give it done for it. So this is a basic setting. You can go around and do it. And now here, this is something called priority. So priority is actually the most commonly used files will be listed under priority. For example, priority is it prioritizes the file which is constantly used and puts it across in a easily accessible area. The next thing should be start. So start file is what any file or folder you want to constantly keep using it, you can star it. For example, let me see this presentation I want to star. So add to star. The moment I right click and add to star, I right click and add to star. Supposing I want to remove it from star, I can remove it from star. So I right click, inside the right click menu, I can add to star. So when I add that to star, supposing there are few important files which will be constantly accessing frequently in your work. So if you star that file, the moment you click the star button, the starred file will be listed. So when your Google Drive contains a large number of files, this act of starring a file will help you to access the file more easily instead of going through the cumbersome search process. So next I'll go to the My Drive. Here this drive lists all the files which are with files and folders within the Google Drive. So here all the files and folders will be listed, will be shown when I click My Drive. Supposing I click shared with me, it will show only those files that are shared with me. Supposing if somebody is has uploaded a file into their Google Drive and has given me a share link, and I would have used that link to view the file, and those files will be listed under shared with me menu. And then recent files, the files which we have recently accessed will be listed under recent. And trash is when you remove the file, when you delete a file, it will be shown within the trash, and you can manually empty the trash, or after 30 days the trash will empty itself. Now the best practice is what is, you for every class I have told you, you need to create a folder. So first let us attempt to create a folder. Click this plus button. Here you create a folder. So I have a class run by name Autology, where the autology the diseases pertaining to the year will be discussed. So I will create a separate folder for it. So I am going to create a folder. So the folder has been created. So let me see. When you go to recent, it will be listed here. So here, this is listed here. This is the folder Autology which we have created for the classroom. But what happens is, if all the folders are of the same color, then it will be very difficult to cite. So what I will do is I will try to change the color of this folder. I will right click on this folder and then go to change color. It offers me a choice of colors, different colors. So I choose the color. So now I have changed the color. So maybe I will change it into a still brighter color. So I have changed the color. It is conflicting with this personal. So what I will do is I will go and change the color into something unique. So I change the color of that folder. So here I will be saving all the files which I am going to use to teach the students this particular subject. So when I double click on this, it will open the folder, and then I can upload files here by right clicking here into this folder. I have the choice of creating a new folder. I have a choice of uploading files. I have a choice of creating upload folder. I have a choice of creating a document. So it is always sensible to, if you want to create a document that needs to be put inside a folder, you can always use this feature of opening the folder, right clicking it, go to Google Docs, it will open the docs. You can always, I'll say test. So I will type this, say this is a test document that is the, testing functionality of G Drive. So what I will do, the moment I do it, it is saved. It's just look here, it has been saved to the drive. The moment I close this window, inside this Authology, this text file has been saved. And then similarly, you can go ahead and prepare a slide, and then by going to the more, the other software will open. So the common software, the Google Docs, Google Sheets is nothing but a spreadsheet which is tightly linked to the G Drive. See, this is nothing but something like an Excel. You can create data and apply your data analytic equations and formulas to generate a report. So this is a classic spreadsheet. So you can create a new spreadsheet if you want. Then you can create a new slide using this Google Slide features. Google Slide presentation software can be used. Then you can, by clicking the upload files, let me try and upload a file, say this one. By clicking here, I can upload a file. The file has been uploaded here. On double clicking, the file will open from within the Google Drive. This is what is happening. Let me go back. So here, this is the folder in which we are working. So you can right click and explore. We have seen Google Docs, we have seen Google Sheets, we have seen Google Slides. Everything can be created from within the folder. I'll always advise you, the best practice is to create the document from within the folder. Or if you have created a document outside the folder, it is always easy to import or to upload the files to this folder or copy those files into this folder. Now we have seen, next is Google Forms. Google Forms is actually a form which you can use to create a registration form for the students. You can collect student details using this form. You can create multiple choice examinations using this form. You can create assessment tests using Google Form. So you can create test, assessment and registration. Even attendance can be secured using this Google Form. So you can create a form here, Google Form, and a document, and you can create a Google Form document. And then next comes the Google Drawings. This is a wonderful tool. Here you can draw a diagram. For example, let me see. I'll draw a shape. I'll draw an oval shape like this, and then I can use a free tool, Scribble. Scribble is a feature which actually resembles a pen. So I can use a free tool to draw. See how nice it is. So you can draw like this. All your lines, even your shivers will be cut smoothed. You get a very smooth picture. So you get a very smooth picture. You can use the fill feature. You can use a paint format. You can use a colors. So let me see. So this is how you draw a picture and automatically it gets saved. Since untitled diagram, I will say give the title eardrum. It also says it is getting saved in Autology. So you need not manually click any save. Just click here. Close it. So here now you see the eardrum diagram saved here. And now there are some other useful tools which are available on the right side of the menu. Here you see it's something called Keep. So you can use it as a note-taking tool. This is actually, it can work on your mobile, it can work on your iPhone, it can work on your Android device, it can work on your iPad, it can work on your desktop. So you can use this note-taking tool and you can start typing. So supposing you are working on some book writing, if you want to write a book, so relevant things if you come across, so you always take a note. So let me say maximum G drive space in free time is 15 GB. So this you would have come across when you are reading something. You just keep it posted inside your note. So when you write a book, these small nuggets will help you to be very accurate with your books. So now let me go to the drive and see some of the other features. You can share this document. So supposing you're working on this document, you can share it with your colleagues or friend, so that a collaborative editing is also possible. You can edit your documents together with your colleague. And there's one small interesting thing which everyone should know. It's called a Google Jamboard. So actually this Google Jamboard is actually something like a blackboard. If you're having a touch screen, or you can use your iPad to draw diagrams like this. You consider it as a blackboard and start writing, drawing, and you can teach a student like using this blackboard tool. If you want, you can clear the frame by clicking it. If you want, you can erase it. So you can say, for example, say supposing the teacher wants to do mathematics, 2 into 2 equal to 4. You can do it. If you click it, it will erase. You can erase it. Supposing you can add a diagram if you want. You can add an image. Say for example, let me see. We have an image created within Autology. No, there's no image. No images here available. You can also upload if you want. You can select a file from your device, upload a image file into your document. That will be shown inside the Jamboard. So immediately it gets integrated into the Jamboard. So you can use this lightning tool to draw and highlight a point, but it will immediately vanish. So you can use it as a temporary highlighter or temporary indicator like that. So you can create a multiple jams like this. So that is one board. 2 again, a fresh board you can create, and then go to the third board, and ultimately you can keep on creating documents here, and then you can download the entire documents as a PDF, so that you can post the same document within the Google Classroom to ensure that students can use it even at a later date. Thank you very much for your patient listening.